everyone, welcome back to my channel. Some of you may know that I have an Etsy business where I sell handmade plush toys, or you can also think of them as stuffed animals. I used to make a lot of videos in the past about making plushies, so sort of bringing it back to talk about my experience overall. This is actually one of the products that I've made recently, and I have another video coming up about the exact process and behind the scenes of me running my Etsy shop. I'm also doing a giveaway for this plushie on my Instagram later this month, so make sure to head on over there and follow to make sure that you are notified. So I'll just mainly be talking about my experience overall running the store, and then also things I've learned from this experience that hopefully you guys can learn from as well. In terms of how all of this started, basically as a kid I was always pretty artsy and always been doing lots of crafts and things at home in my free time. I've gone to art classes for several years and just been always like doing these artsy crafty things in my free time. And when I was older, my mom actually introduced me to her sewing machine to let me use it and taught me basics of sewing and stuff like that. So that kind of led me to making stuffed animals and plush toys. I would start making these plushies from felt or fleece that I bought from craft stores, and later posting them on this art site called DeviantArt. It's still around, but basically a lot of people post their art pictures online and then you can gather sort of a community, which is what I did back a few years ago. I started bringing them to school where a lot of my classmates and friends asked me to buy them, and I began selling to students and friends through word of mouth at school and to my neighbors. I also posted a lot of pictures on Facebook and other social media sites where I started to gather a following of random strangers who were also super interested in buying the products, also known as plushies, that I sold. So then I just realized a lot of strangers were willing to buy my products and wanted some of these plushies for themselves. Before opening my formal Etsy store online, I mainly sold through word of mouth. I also met a lot of other crafters and people who were interested in crafting and similar things. And I actually spent a lot of my time doing trades where I would send plushies and also get something else in return. So for example, I did a lot of trades with like clay charms and other collectibles that I was also interested in. So trading for me back then was a way to get crafts from different people, and honestly I didn't really think too much about selling at Etsy back then, but realized that I really wanted a system to streamline everything, so decided to open an Etsy store. I later realized that Etsy is actually a super great way to reach and streamline the process in order to sell to more customers, because I realized how Etsy is a search engine, just like how Google and YouTube are. Basically, when you search for a product through Etsy, your results will be on the landing page in which new people can find your products. So I think it's a great way if you have a hobby or something and you want to start selling to a new audience. I think it's a great way to start. And to this day, I still sell on Etsy, but I feel like now it's more of a seasonal business, because I realized that during certain seasons like Christmas and Valentine's Day is when sales start to pick up because people are getting gifts for those specific occasions. And I'm also at school now, so I don't really have much of the time to do this Etsy side hustle while I'm at school, so it's definitely a great thing for me to do over the holidays when I have some extra free time. And overall, my experience running this online store has been really positive. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself in other means when it comes to choosing a major in college, the type of career I want to pursue in the future. So I feel like by doing this has helped me realize what I want to do in the future going forward. So personally, this business slash side hustle has led me to choose my major, which is in business, and my future career path, which is in marketing, because I realized I really liked the process of selling a product and understanding the needs of the customers. So that's something that I really wanted to do going forward, and I've realized this just by doing this side hustle business for a few years already. I also want to share some of the things I learned and some of the takeaways from my experience, so that hopefully it can help some of you guys out as well who are interested in pursuing a side hustle or another interest. I think if you have a hobby or other interests, you should definitely start an Etsy store if you have the time and means to. And I think it's definitely possible to take something you already enjoy and find a way to turn it into a small business or a way to make some extra money while gaining new skills on the side, which I think for me, which is what I did, I found it super valuable because aside from the aspect where I got to do my hobby, I've also learned a lot about myself and what I want to do in the future. So for me, it was super valuable. And I think a lot of people who are interested in doing something like this would also find it super valuable in terms of gaining new skills and experiences. So through running my shop, I also learned other skills that I found super helpful in the future. So things like how to deal with customers, managing budgets, recording expenses, and just some of the things that go into running a business in general, I think was super valuable for me to learn. And definitely when I do future things related to businesses in the future, I will definitely take a lot of the lessons I have learned from running the store into my future endeavors. So I think that's been super valuable for me so far. I've also generally learned more about myself and what I enjoy and don't enjoy doing as much. But I also learned when it came to doing Etsy and other side hustles, I definitely think that you should do something that you enjoy, because if you're just doing it for the sake of achieving a specific goal that's more of a vanity metric, I feel like it's easier to get burned out if you're not doing something that you actually would do in your free time as a hobby. So I'll probably think about that, and also remember to enjoy the process, because if you only focus on the end destination, then it'll be really hard for you to actually go through the process and you might get burned out really quickly. So that's definitely something that I've learned through this experience as well. I also think it was super worthwhile to invest in learning more about the platform, as well as how other small business owners or creators operate their platform, because Etsy is ultimately a search engine where you can search specific keywords, and if you learn how to rank within those keywords in searches, it becomes a lot easier for your products to rank higher in search, and then your shop will likely to be more successful, since that will lead to more sales and more people coming back to your store. So those are some of the things that I would keep in mind if you are interested in opening an Etsy shop yourself. Overall, if you're still a student, I think doing an Etsy shop is a really good side hustle if you have a specific hobby you're interested that you're already doing that can translate well into this sort of business model. If you have the means for it, I'll definitely say go for it. I definitely learned a lot through this process, just skills in general and about myself. But I'd say it's definitely really time consuming, because it takes a lot of time to do the research as well as to get your products to a point where you're able to make the sales. So I think if you're really into it, go for it. But there are also definitely so many other side hustle ideas out there besides running an Etsy store. But these are just some of my experiences and lessons. I'll be doing a giveaway on this plushie on my Instagram soon, so make sure to head on over there so you don't miss it. Check out my Etsy store link down in the description below, and let me know if you have any questions. If you're new here, don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!